Hey, folks, welcome back to Rolling Start,
Hey,
the American F1 podcast. We were in Monza.
Monza.
We were in Monza today, and a lot happened, but also not a lot happened. So we're going to break down the things that were important.
So true.
And the things that we don't give two craps about. But first, we had McLaren team orders resurface, rear their heads for the first time really since Hungary last year. We're going to get into that. Ferrari borrowed a page from the Obama 2008 campaign. We'll also figure out where that came from. Aston Martin apparently doesn't know how to design a car. Alonso runs over a curb and just rips his car in half.
Rips it.
Albon strikes in the points again. I'm going to make a rare apology to Mercedes. You'll be appreciative. But most importantly, and where we're going to start, Max wins Monza like it's 2023.
Dude.
Let's talk Red Bull.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's talk Red Bull.
Verstappen ran Monza like it was a go-karting track.
Dude.
19 seconds was the gap between him and
arguably
the most dominant team since Red Bull's dominant era.
Yes.
That's not racing. That's walking around with a stick and beating everybody up.
Well, this was just what it was. Max steals pole from Lando.
Yes.
And Lando, Saturday, he gets pole. And I was like, okay, Lando. As Crofty's trying to stutter through his statement that Lando gets pole, Max just comes in and says, Crofty, just stop. I got it. You just, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. I got 100%. It. Sweeps pole and then just runs away with the race. It was now again, there was a little bit of fighting in the beginning, first couple laps. Lando, Max going back and forth. It was kind of the only fighting the entire race. That mattered. There was other cars that were,
Hamilton came from 10th to 5th. So there was some fighting in the field.
Huzzah for Hamilton. But Max, we'll get to Hamilton later. Max just went out and just freaking owned it, dude.
He dominated. What did you feel about the fight between him and Lando in the beginning?
Felt good.
It felt great.
I was like, this is what I want to see. Crofty was even like, oh, this is great. Everyone says it's so hard to overtake here at Monza. And look at it.
There were a ton of overtakes throughout.
It was great.
And to be honest, Monza did surprise me somewhat.
How so?
Because for the first time in a long time, it was close. Those first few, I would say upwards of 10 laps, people were fighting, overtaking,
that's some fighting,
making moves. Lando and Max at the front, and then throughout the whole field, you had people losing, you had people gaining. It was great. And then when we approached the pit window, everyone was so close.
Yeah,
there was hardly a gap.
Yeah,
it was incredible for Monza. Is the asterisk on it. For Monza, it was incredible. But very encouraging for next year.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, why doesn't Lando fight Piastri like he fights Max? I want to see what I saw in lap 1 between Max v. Lando when I see Lando v. Piastri. Because it was aggressive. It was calculated. Bro, he was smooth.
No, he was great. Well, here's what we might start seeing. We might start seeing him fight Piastri like that because of the deficit now.
True. Very true.
Right? So this was the first time we saw Lando really go at it because at this point, he just needs to. He has to fight like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he wants any shot at the championship again. So we might see him.
He did.
He did. We might see him fight Piastri again like that. I think he's been scared because of what happened in Canada when he freaking bended into the side of the wall and hit Piastri, and the team just came down with an iron fist.
Yeah.
I think he's been scared, which is why he hasn't fought Piastri in the way that he is maybe fighting Max.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Max won, which is amazing.
It was great.
But it's still trailing McLaren by 94 points. Monza was therapy.
No,
it was not a championship fuel Max is not going to come back and win this thing in any way, shape, or form.
No, it wasn't like
it was his first win
in a minute
up the season.
Wait, hang on a second.
Wasn't it?
No, he won in Japan.
Does that count?
He won in Imola.
I mean, Japan was pretty epic.
And he won in Italy. So he's won 3 so far, twice in Italy. Here's the thing. You know when like you're dating someone and they say they're going to change and they don't change? But there's like a glimmer where it's like, oh, they were nice.
They did something good today.
They did something good to me. They like noticed me. They said I was, whatever. That's kind of like today for Red Bull. It's like this moment of like, you're not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
You're the same team. You're not actually going to shift and become something different. But it was a moment, at least for Max's side of the garage, where it's like, okay, this was great. This was like a reminder of what we can do.
Yeah.
Yuki's side of the garage has been painful. We have not talked about Yuki in a while because there's really nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think
starting far
we
down
should
and
maybe,
finishing far down.
I think we should maybe mention something about Yuki. Finishing 13th. In the last, well, let me just say this. Since Monaco,
mm-hmm.
he has scored in the points 1 time. And that's
rough.
Last week at the Dutch Grand Prix, he finished 9th.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Since that time, Max has DNF'd once, but he has obviously, scored every single time. But I don't think Max is the right person to compare him to. I think who we should be comparing him to would be Isaac Hadjar,
Liam
Lawson, who Lawson during that time has scored 3 on 3 different occasions where Yuki has scored once. Isaac has scored
I think you can expand that list
4 different times.
What you should be doing is you should be comparing him to the entire midfield because that's what Red Bull has become, is a midfield team. So
absolutely.
You can compare him to everybody in the midfield. So that includes Williams, that includes Sauber, that includes Aston Martin. Those are the people. Because the reality is that that's where they are. Max is Max, so Max is always going to be at the front of the field.
Yep.
Which evidently, based on this season, no matter what car you put him in, he apparently usurps the ability of a car and puts it where it shouldn't be.
Which we should be more stunned at that.
We should.
I think we're kind of used to Max being Max, but like
he's an anomaly.
It is. It's incredible.
He's not. I'm convinced. I didn't believe in aliens until Max Verstappen. I'm convinced he's an alien. Dude, like
there it is.
Or a Jedi. He's Anakin Skywalker in the pod racer, dude. He is.
That's it, dude.
Next level. But I guess so not to harp on the Red Bull thing.
We're talking about them.
You've made comments about next year. This car's toast. It's done.
Of course.
They're not changing it. There's 9 races. 8 races.
I don't think
it doesn't
really
matter.
think anyone cares about the rest of the season. McLaren
no one cares about Red Bull.
Just crush.
No one cares about their car for the rest of the season. They're looking towards 2026.
Yes.
In 2026, do you think they are designing that car around Max, or do you think that they are designing that car for 2 drivers? Do you think they have learned their mistake and they're going to go, no, we're going to describe a car, or I guess design a car that's more balanced, that's easier to adjust?
In 2026, Red Bull needs to design a car that 2 human beings who are drivers can drive. They've never done that in the last several years.
Yeah.
And they have a trail of tears, a trail of broken careers of F1 drivers who have come through and just been stomped on by that team.
Yes.
And in this era of F1, you cannot rely on a single driver to win, especially with how dominant McLaren is.
Okay, so
my answer to your question is they would be idiots if they don't design their car
but
that
what
2
happens,
drivers can drive.
I agree. But what happens when they design a car that 2 drivers can drive and then Max gives the feedback that says we should go this direction? So then they go the Max direction again, and then the other driver drops off. So now we're stuck with a 1-driver team. Here's why I'm asking this question.
Yes.
Because Laurent Mekies, the principal of Red Bull, says Max told us to go away with a setup this weekend that didn't make any sense to us. Max finishes on first.
20 seconds ahead.
Where did Yuki end? So next season, they have a car that's designed in a balanced way. And Max goes, well, I want to set up this way. He goes out and delivers. The other driver, no matter who it is going, I can't do this. No one can do this. Are we stuck in a perpetual pendulum swing towards Max until he's no longer at Red Bull? Is that the kind of driver that he is? Is that the kind of personality and, I guess, honestly, design he expects from his constructor when he drives for them? He's definitely earned it.
When I think about Max, I think about the curse and the burden of excellence, where Max is so
Tell me more.
good.
Yeah.
And he cannot be paired with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's good, it's real good. When it's 2023 and you are
it's amazing,
the most dominant team in F1 history,
yes,
with the most dominant car in F1 history, excellence is euphoric. But in this moment, there's a curse of it where Max is so good.
That's so true.
That the team has followed him blindly into the night, and they've realized, oh crap, we are lost because we put all of our trust and our hope into this person who has led us, who's once in a generation as far as a talent. And so now they're having to backtrack. They're having to recognize that they've went astray here. But it's because they've been chasing excellence. And it's led them down the wrong path. Now, again, this is the problem with any team that has Max and anyone else, is because Max is going to set up his car in a way that he prefers. Somehow he's able to get it to deliver. Somehow he's able to get cars that don't deserve to be where they are to be 20 seconds ahead. That's insane. But here's the thing, though. That screws over the team, the design, the other driver, because we
saw it this weekend with where Yuki ended.
Well, you've seen it the last several years with every second driver at Red Bull. They look at Max's setup, they look at the results he's getting, and they're saying, well, I guess I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
And they can't
no one can
handle that machine.
No.
So,
and these aren't invalids.
These are drivers who've continued their careers, many of them, or are coming back into F1.
They're literally the top 20 people in the entire world. You have a seat in F1, it means that everyone else, except for 19 people, can't drive a car as good as you.
Yeah. It's the most elite club, really, in the world.
The worst F1 driver?
Yes.
Is still Hercules.
I mean, Logan Sargent is essentially like Thor.
Let's not talk about Logs. But yeah, I think this weekend was a statement from Red Bull. What was interesting to me, Red Bull's back.
Wait. So
Red Bull's back.
Does it last?
I think Red Bull.
We're going to Azerbaijan next.
I think they're screaming. I think they're talking to us. I think they're waving a flag saying, Mekis is here. He's rebooting some of this chaos. And the reason I say that is because Max, one of the reasons we love Max, and I say that, there are reasons
in that.
There are reasons in which I appreciate Max. Number one, he's a straight shooter.
Yes.
Love that.
In a world of people who don't say what they mean,
correct.
Max says what he means.
Number two, he doesn't placate to politics, which every American loves.
Yes.
And
of course.
Number three, he just has an air of doesn't give a damn about what anyone thinks. Yeah. And also, I love that. The other
Max
thing
Verstappen's kind of like the Donald Trump of F1.
He's huge, gay. He's pretty much like Dodo sucks. Every other guy sucks. There's that element of it. But I think the reality for me is that Max also, when he says something, he means it.
Yeah.
So it's not like when George says something or Toto says something and you're like, is this a trick? Are you sandbagging?
Yeah.
When Max says, so he accredited this win to the leadership of Laurent Mekis. So this is the first 8 race drought since Horner has left. Check my numbers. The data guy's checking. But I'm pretty sure it was an 8 race drought between where they last won till now. And
Yeah, you're right.
It's the first one under Mekis. And the first thing that Max says is thank you to the team. And I really do believe that Mekis' leadership is going to take us to the next level. He does not say things like that.
Strong words.
He does not give out free. He's not like a Ferrari driver where they get fed their lines and they have to say it.
Yeah.
It's Max. Feed him a line. And he's like, I'm going to say what I want to say.
Yeah.
And he says this, do we think we're walking into a new era with Red Bull for the rest of the season? We have 9 races. Do we think Max is going to continue? We have some high-speed tracks like Azerbaijan coming up. Do we think Red Bull can do it again? Do we think they could do it in Mexico City?
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely think that they can do it again. I don't believe that this is them turning the corner on their season and all of a sudden they're going to become this competitor again. But I do think Max will win more than once between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, we talked about this last week. That spells challenges for Lando.
Yes.
As he's trying to hunt down Oscar.
Yes.
Right. And we saw that today where Lando came out ready to fight and Max was like, I'll take those 25 points.
Correct.
And instead of you having like a 7 or 8 point, cut into the advantage, you're going to have a 3 point cut.
Exactly.
Right. So,
which is nothing.
No, it's nothing. It's just like, okay, well, I guess it's over. Right.
Yes.
But this is what we're going to start seeing is
correct.
Max may spoil Lando's championship.
That's what we said last week.
We said it.
The teams are in the mix now.
They're in the mix.
And Lando needs to take advantage of that. And he couldn't this week.
He couldn't.
Here's what I feel about Red Bull. They were gods. They were Zeus. They were untouchable, dude.
Absolutely.
Max was probably, I would say figuratively, sometimes maybe even literally miles ahead of people. And
there was days where he was just drinking a cup of
it was crazy, dude. The fact now, Red Bull is human. They can lose. But now, after this weekend, they can hit back. And when they hit back, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurt McLaren this weekend. It hurt Lando this weekend.
Yeah.
That Max won that race.
No, dude, I mean, that's such a great way of saying it. And, it's interesting because Red Bull was dominant and then has since become human and has lost their way. But they're able to strike back in a way Ferrari hasn't figured out how yet to do.
Are we going Ferrari next?
Let's just go Ferrari. So here's the thing,
team
like
that never was.
Ferrari hasn't figured out how to strike back or even strike in the first place. Like they've not figured this piece out. And I think Red Bull has hit their rock bottom. I think they went as low as they're going to go.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
And now they're coming back.
Yeah.
Up for air.
Max is coming back.
Fair
the driver stays at the bottom.
Fair enough. But that's just,
that's Red Bull.
That's Red Bull. But they're
you.
at the bottom that they're going to go, and they're coming back up for air. Ferrari, I don't think we've seen them hit their low yet.
Right.
But here's the thing about Ferrari. So I mentioned at the start of the episode how Ferrari is borrowing a page from Obama's 2008 campaign.
Change's going to come.
Change. But the word I was thinking about was hope. And the reason I say this is because today I'm watching Sky Sports. And Sky Sports and Ted Kravitz, gotta love Ted Kravitz, but he's doing this whole piece on Ferrari. Of course, it's Monza. Why wouldn't you?
After the Tifosi's
and he just says, Ferrari means hope. And I was like, wait, what are we hoping for? When was the last time this team actually achieved the thing they hoped for?
Yeah.
We've been in the desert for a hot minute.
The kind of hope that Ferrari breeds is I hope I get that job. When someone says like, I hope it works out for the better. You don't believe that that's actually going to happen.
No.
You're just like, I hope it happens. Well, that's Ferrari. I hope they win a race.
But here's the thing. That hope is completely unfounded because the car is absolutely shot. They designed it to ride too low.
Correct.
And in China,
and it can't.
And in China, when they rode too low and just obliterated the bottom of the car and got disqualified, they realized like, oh no, it's like Mercedes with the 0 pods. And they're like, what have we done? Ferrari's like, what have we done? And we can't find our way back. And
well, they doubled down with an upgrade package, and it didn't work.
No. And so Chuck has been like, guys, we're looking at 2026. The car's not going to change. So this is the point where I'm like, there's no point in hoping for anything for the rest of the season, because the best you can hope for is going to be like a fourth, a fifth, maybe. Like, that's where they're at.
That was them today.
Yeah.
Fourth and fifth.
And that's not terrible. There's other teams who would take it, but
that's not
for
Ferrari.
Their aspirations, it's atrocious. And so Ferrari, here's my question. How do you get that ride height downforce formula so wrong as a team? Because that's the main thing they got wrong, is that the car optimum downforce is too low to the ground and therefore becomes illegal. How do you get that wrong as a team? That would seem to be, I'm not some big F1 designer here.
No.
But that would seem to be like, we have a way to make sure that we don't get that wrong, because that disqualifies you. So you'd think 100%. You'd figure that piece out.
Yeah. Julian Palmer said a really interesting fact. For every millimeter you can go lower on the car, you can gain upwards of a tenth of speed, which in Formula One is what everyone is searching for.
Everyone's searching for those tenths.
Ferrari today was the fastest car in a straight line. Yet,
here we are,
fourth and fifth. Ferrari rolled out in the Niki Lauda throwback livery, which looked awesome, and they rolled straight into failure. Home soil, 0 podium. It was a biblical collapse again.
Chuck was trying, and Chuck at the outset,
both of them
was
trying.
Feisty. Well, yeah, Hamilton.
You can't say Hamilton wasn't trying. He started freaking 10th, dude.
Yeah, good on him.
Where did Chuck start again?
Well, he was like 4th.
And where did he end?
4th.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, Chuck was trying. Yeah, he sure was trying. He definitely deserves a participation like ribbon today.
Just
thumbs up, Chuck.
Good on you.
You did a great job.
Good on you.
Like Freddie said that they didn't do their job today.
What was their job? To get a podium?
Apparently.
No, that was never going to happen.
They wanted to be right behind McLaren, which theoretically they were, but they thought McLaren was going to be 1-2. They wanted to be 3 and 4 today.
Max just was the bowling ball that came in and dashed their dreams.
McLaren is the standard, and they're quite literally falling off a cliff every weekend. And you're right, their car is it's not undrivable, but it's unwinnable. It's not going to win a race. You were at the track where the fastest straight line speed matters, and they still finished in 4th and 5th, even though they were the fastest in a straight line.
Yeah.
They, to me, have become more like a Williams, where Williams is struggling. And I know that's crazy to say, but Williams struggles every week. They're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it this week. The car's so temperamental. I don't know if it's going to be a good week or a bad week. You know, Albon's leaping in the paddock for finishing in P6 because was he P7? I think it was P6.
I think it was P7.
And he's P7. Leaping for P7 for all the points that he got. And it's like, okay, dude, super cool. Ferrari thinks that they're going to win, thinks that they could be pushing for 2nd or 3rd. And every week, it's like, this is the biggest joke right now.
Yeah.
But they can't change their car. So they just keep trying.
No,
when do they lower their standards, Ben? Is my question.
I mean,
are they losing harder than they have to right now?
Last year, they were in contention for the title.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they're nowhere. So either that speaks to their failure, or it speaks more to McLaren's utter domination. Yeah. And I think to this point, it speaks to McLaren's utter domination.
Yeah.
They're at 617
Oh,
points.
It's insane.
I mean, this is bonkersville.
Are they going to beat?
Red Bull had 860.
So they're going to beat
total
Red Bulls
points in
because it's 2 drivers.
It's quite possible. This is what happens when you have
Yeah.
two good drivers. Whoever,
And even though I think it's one less race for the Red Bull, so I think we have 25 this year. But
so I mean, here's the thing. I think, and as you were talking about Ferrari, this was what came through my mind. I think it's time for us to let our expectations go.
Yeah.
And to say, this is where you're at, Ferrari.
100%.
You know, I have no more expectations of you.
Yes.
If something happens, if you get a podium, good on you.
Yeah.
But at this point in the season, I'm letting go on the expectations
You've written them
I
off.
have. I've written them off.
Yeah. No, I have.
That's where it's at.
They are going to be either second or third in the constructors.
Mercedes is 20 points back.
Yep.
Mercedes can still get it.
Yep. I mean, Mercedes also isn't the one who had a double DNF last week.
Yeah.
So they jumped up because of that. So I think Mercedes is closer than they should be at the moment in comparison.
And technically, Red Bull's still in the mix. They're 239. So
100%. I don't think they're going to. Hamilton, even struggling with that car, is still doing better than Yuki and.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I don't think Red Bull is going to, unless Max starts busting out wins left and right, which Max could do.
Hey, it's possible.
There's nothing Max can't do, in my opinion.
It's possible.
Okay, well, who do we talk about next?
Let's go McLaren.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So
McLaren.
Quick
are we going
context.
drivers or are we going team?
Well, let's just do quick context. So quick context, we all know Lando has a DNF at the Dutch Grand Prix. Wasn't his fault, but it decimated his championship race.
Correct.
Now, he's fighting, and you had such a poetic way of talking about it. He's lighter, gloves are out, he's going for it.
Thank you, Ben.
It was so poetic. I'm going to tell you that. It was such a great way of describing
Thank you for
it.
telling me on air.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I can't even remember exactly what it was. It was so good.
Nor can I.
But he comes into this race week, and we really are expecting to see just Lando go all out. Max utterly spoils it. There's that fight initially between Lando and Max just...
We did see Lando go out. The car just couldn't hang.
Yeah, the car couldn't keep up with the Red Bull.
He couldn't even hold on to a DRS train. He couldn't do anything.
No, couldn't do anything. So that's what happens. And then there's this moment towards the end of the race because no one's pitting.
No. Well, it's a negative deg track. So they actually get faster the longer they stay out.
So they're like, why am I going to pit? We're not doing this. And so it's between Lando and Oscar, and Lando's like, hey, is he going to go first?
Right.
And the team's like, yeah, sure. We'll have Oscar come first, pit first. Oscar pits first. Lando goes into pit, and the left front tire jack guy.
You're wrong. You're telling the story wrong, Ben.
No, I'm not.
This is not the context. You're not giving the full context.
Well, give us more context. Give us more context.
Lando, being the lead McLaren,
yes,
has right of pit stop. So he gets to decide, do I come in or does Lando come in?
Oscar,
come in, right? So they say it would be good if Oscar came in because it would help him cover off Leclerc. And if he gets ahead, we'll make sure that he gives the place back because they're obviously racing as a team.
Well, they said that over the air?
Yeah, they said that because he wouldn't get ahead theoretically.
Okay.
And so these are the rules that they have. These are the gameplay that they have.
Gotcha.
So Oscar, he goes, okay, great. Give Oscar the pit stop. He'll cover off Leclerc. I'll come in after. I'll pit anyway because he was still ahead of Oscar. So he would have theoretically come out ahead of him anyway. The problem is that the team nailed it on Oscars. 1.9 seconds.
Phenomenal.
Like just perfection.
Brilliant.
Lando comes into the pit, nails it, lands on his marks perfectly. But yes, they had the front wheel mark. Like the front, I think it was like the right maybe or the left. I can't remember. But it was a 5.9 second pit stop.
Yeah. A little longer.
Which means that as he was coming out of the pits, Oscar was passing him. If he had done the regular pit stop, this would have been a non-issue.
Yeah.
If he had taken his right, which was the first pit stop, it would have been the non-issue because he would have been ahead of Piastri, and then Piastri would have pitted and would have been fighting with Leclerc. That's the full context.
Appreciate that.
You're so welcome.
So
make sure you don't throw my boy under the bus is all I'm saying.
Never.
Because I think I know where you're going with this, and I just want to, I want to cover you off before you pit stop before me.
So
I'm watching for
the
the
thing.
undercut.
Here's the thing. Team orders come back out.
Mm-hmm. Team orders.
That's significant.
Phase sparks.
That's
across
significant.
the entire grid.
McLaren and team orders is just, it's like, everyone starts twitching. I go directly back to Hungary of last year.
Yes, we go back to Piastri's abysmal first win in Formula One.
It was terrible.
The saddest podium anyone's ever seen.
It was terrible. It was not how they should have won about it, but here we are anyway. So they have a very unique relationship to team orders. It's a very sensitive subject, especially now because they have two drivers who are both going for the championship. Mm-hmm. And they have said, we are going to let these guys race. We're going to let these guys race. Here's my thing. Mm-hmm. I think they made the wrong call by having Oscar give the place back.
And why is that?
Here's why. We're in Formula One. This is the top freaking sport in the universe. Oscar is going for the championship. Every freaking point counts.
Oh, he's back in the hunt now.
He is trying to land a knockout blow.
Correct.
It is not his fault what the left front tire jack bro did to lengthen the pit stop for Lando. That's not his fault. That has nothing to do with him.
So Lando says, let me play the team game. And yes, he can pit first. He can take my pit stop. He takes the pit stop.
I'm saying it's not Oscar's fault.
Oscar said
what
that.
The team does.
A slow pit. We talked about this.
But it's not his fault. He is racing on track. The team is the one that screwed Lando. And the team is trying to cover their own ass.
I would
tell
echo
Oscar to bring it back. Now, if Oscar loses by a single point, you know what he's going to point back to? He's going to point back to freaking Monza.
If Oscar loses by a single point, he better not freaking point back to Monza because you suck. If your teammate, you would be such a terrible human being if you said the reason I'm losing is because of a pit stop in Monza when your teammate engine freaking exploded.
Well, this is what Lando would say if he lost. Is the reason I lost is because of the Dutch Grand Prix.
And that's fair.
Point back.
That's fair. If
back.
Lando says, I lost because my engine exploded, that's fair. If Piastri was like, I lost because of a pit stop that
here's
Lando
my thing.
gave
Here's
me,
my thing.
please,
I want to see these guys just go and race. I hate team orders. You need to just go for it. What happens.
No.
You win and you lose as a team. If someone jacks up, they jack up. It is what it is. Let these guys race. It's not Oscar's fault. What happened to Lando? Let Lando come down and chase him.
I would say, based off of the fact that the entire Tifosi booed Lando when he went on the podium, I would say they would agree with you. The second thing I would say is you're completely and utterly wrong. And the reason you're wrong is because I would be on your side of this if Lando had done what I think a world champion should do, isn't go tell him to fight Leclerc. I'm taking my pit stop. He should have taken the pit stop.
So he was too nice.
I think he was too nice. I think we had nice Lando again.
Freaking Lando.
And I also think the team's in a tough place. They have the Constructors' Championship. They're not worried about that. And now they're trying to manage the dynamic of balancing out their two number one drivers, inverted commas. And I think they did the right thing because Lando they said, can we give Oscar this they asked Lando, would you be willing? I don't know what
radio you're listening to. I didn't hear any of this.
You need to watch because you're watching the Sky feed and they're biased. They don't like Australians. And so they're like, can Oscar have this so that he can pit and cover off Leclerc? And he goes, yeah, give him the pit stop.
What I heard was Lando saying, no, you have him go first. He initiated it, was what I heard on the radio.
Because they were bored. They were watching the screens. He knew. Yeah, he even said it. He knew that he needed that pit stop to go well so that he wasn't fighting Leclerc at the end for a podium. Lando gave Piastri his pit stop, gets the 1.9. Piastri gets the 1.9, nails it, gets out there. Then Lando rolls into the pits, nails his marks, and gets screwed by the wheel gun.
Yeah.
And ends with a 5.9 pit stop. Not Lando's fault. He landed on his marks. He played the team game.
But this is sports. This just happens sometimes. In
Yes,
sports,
but
sometimes
this
you
is
get screwed.
a different sport. There is a team element to this. And just like last year, now we've rebalanced it.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they're looking to. Look, I get it.
Here's the thing.
McLaren swapped P2 for PR today. I understand that.
I want the sport
it's
to
fair.
play
It's
out.
the rules that they have established, which they have the right to do, and they played by it.
I know. I just don't like when we manipulate outcome in sport. Now, again, call it strategy, call it whatever the heck you want.
So you think they should have just gone, all right, we'll fight back for your position that you lost because you gave him the position that he needed for his race.
Lando,
and because you did that,
made the call on which order of pit stop he wanted Oscar to take.
Because of what Oscar needed.
I know. But here's the thing. He still made a decision, and he just ended up getting the shorter end of the stick. Now, again, like, sucks to suck, but that happened. Now, again, he didn't pay for it. The team just said, okay, just flip it around. And it wasn't as egregious as Hungary. Hungary was freaking egregious last year.
Yeah, it was
Lando
pretty,
was 5-6 seconds ahead.
It was brutal.
And it was just such a terrible team order. So this one wasn't as bad as that. But I just don't like team orders because it feels like the team is getting involved in the outcome in a way that manipulates the sportsmanship, that manipulates the actual racecraft, that manipulates just how races go sometimes.
So you're saying that McLaren should have responded to him, hey, thanks for doing that. Thanks for letting Oscar cover off Leclerc. Now Leclerc's your problem, and it's called racing. Go for it. That's what you're saying should have happened.
Here's my thing.
Hey, thanks for doing that for the team. Thanks for really taking one for us.
Sorry
about
fired.
the wheel gun. We're gonna get rid of him.
He's fired. He's
but
on
now
a plane
it's
back to
now
the
it's
UK.
your fault.
It's not his fault. I just think it's racing. It's just sports. It's what happens sometimes. Sometimes your teammates fail you.
Okay, Ben. So last week you berated my team. And not only my team as a whole, you also went beyond Mercedes as a team, and you went to our heart. You went to our power unit.
I did.
And you said it was unacceptable.
It was.
You said
because it was going to cost Lando the championship. Yeah.
And I just want to circle back because McLaren gave us some information this week. And what was that information?
So, unlike the FIA, here in America, when we make a mistake, we can own up to it.
Unlike the FIA.
Unlike the Europeans over there.
That's incredible.
I don't know what they do, but here in America,
unlike the call they made on freaking Carlos Sainz last week.
When we make a mistake, we can say, hey, I made a mistake. And last week I did have a whole monologue, quite rehearsed, planned, prepped about how Mercedes power unit is essentially the new Renault power unit. Because in 2018, their power unit failed 13 times. And Mercedes power unit this year had failed, I thought, a total of 6 times.
Correct.
But what had actually happened last week was that it was not the actual power unit itself.
Correct.
That had failed.
The chassis.
It was a McLaren component
the chassis issue
that was adjacent to said power unit.
Yes.
That is the thing that had failed. So now here's the thing. Mercedes, they have still had 5 power unit failures this season. It's not great. But last week I was quite livid because this was the thing that was going to cost Lando the championship run. This was going to cost all of us with a nail biting down to the last race season finale. And I was like, WTF, Mercedes, thank you. And so I was upset. And I was wrong. So I can call it like it is. Now here's the thing. Still 5 failures this year. It's not great.
I'm going to surprise you.
But it's not Renault.
I'm going to surprise you and say that, I think, what's crazy is that Mercedes F1 engines are blowing up so regularly right now that they actually started a GoFundMe this week to help with the costs. I think the hard part for me about Mercedes this year is it's like, dude, they went to Monza. They're struggling with top speed. That's a death sentence at Monza.
Oh, yeah.
The silver arrows are more like a rusty spear this year. And that's hard to say because it's my freaking team. Antonelli keeps crashing.
Yeah.
George Russell is literally the definition of mediocrity in the points. He just keeps finishing in 5th place. He's just fifth. It's just all the time. Freaking 5th, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's
exhausting.
Brutal. And then Mercedes is just there going, we still believe. We still believe. I'm like, dude, give it up. It's so unfortunate.
They've moved on to next year.
No,
They
it's the dude that's got
year.
no hair left, but he combs it all over from one side to another.
Which dude?
It's the dude. Everyone's got that dude in their life, and he's got just a little bit of hair left, and he combs it across the top of his head.
He's not admitting what's actually going on.
It's sweeping across. He's in full denial. That's Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's
you got to admit,
unfortunate.
You got to admit what's actually going on in the world and then just move on to the next thing.
So Antonelli doesn't have a contract for next year.
How do you feel about that? He was supposed to be the golden boy, the future of Mercedes, and he doesn't have a contract. Is Toto just playing hardball?
I don't know. I've given up on trying to figure out what happens in the mind of Toto Wolff.
Apparently, he just doesn't. He just away.
He just responds. He ghosts people.
Runs
he's the
away
definition
and
of
ghosts.
he's ghosty.
That's his strategy.
I think for me, what it has highlighted is the beauty of starting in a team that is not the tip of the spear. So to me, at the front of the Formula One grid, you have the spear. There's 3 points. There's the person that's in number 1, and then the 2 side points that bring the triangle down, right? Yeah. And so for this year, it's McLaren, and it's Mercedes, and it's Ferrari.
Yeah.
And then you have all the other teams that are just kind of there, existing.
Yeah.
And you look at the rookies that are Hadjar. Racing Bulls gets podium last week. Absolutely incredible. And it's just been starts out really tough.
Yeah.
And then you look at like Gabby Bortoletto doing super well in the Sauber.
Yeah.
Has been nailing that.
Great.
You look at Ollie, like he's somewhat equal with Esteban Ocon. Like there's just a lot less pressure. And then you look at Antonelli and you're like, dude, you've got the weight of Mercedes on your shoulder. I wonder if it's better for these drivers to start in the midfield than it is for them to start at the tip of the spear. And I understand that would be somewhat crazy to say, but even think about the greats. Lewis did not start at the tip of the spear. Max did not start at the tip of the spear. Fernando did not start at the tip of the spear. Michael Schumacher didn't start at the top of the grid. Is it the best for a rookie driver to go straight into the top 3? And I would argue no. That's my thoughts on Antonelli not having a contract for next year.
Yeah.
Do they pop him into Williams? I don't know.
Oh, that'd be just a mental blow.
It would be a mental blow, but would you rather be out of Formula One or in? I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll keep Antonelli, but that's not my concern because honestly, I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, here's the thing that's really interesting. Antonelli is still the highest ranking rookie at this point.
100%.
He's in 8th with 66 points. Isaac's in 9th with 38. And then we go down from there.
100%.
You know, Liam, Bo,
the super
Behrman, all those guys are way down. But it doesn't feel like that, though.
No.
It doesn't feel like he's the highest ranking rookie. It feels like he's struggling. Yes. And I think it's because of that dynamic you just talked about where he's at the tip of the spear and he's in one of those top teams. Because he's there, the expectations are a lot higher. And so it doesn't matter that he's the highest ranking rookie. The guy
he should be.
The guy immediately in front of him is in a Williams.
Correct.
So a Williams is in front of you.
Correct.
We don't do that.
No.
We don't do that at Mercedes. We don't let Williams beat one of our drivers.
And Albon said this weekend, it's our goal to stay ahead.
Right?
So Kimi.
Now, so here's the thing. It's really coming down to Kimi and Albon because neither of them are going to catch Hamilton, who's in 6th.
Not even close.
Because it's too far ahead. But their battle is going to be between the two of them. A Williams and a Mercedes. So, like, this is where it's like Mercedes in a similar way, not as drastic as Red Bull, but kind of has a Red Bull problem.
Yes.
Where their second driver is out of place.
She's not as skillful.
So Yuki's way down in freaking 19th. So again, it's not as drastic a problem that Mercedes has.
Exactly.
But you're still trailing a Williams, and that is probably the reason you don't have a contract next year, Kimi. Is because that a Williams is beating you.
Yeah.
Now again, you're young, you're a rookie, you were thrown into this. Some might say too fast. But at what point does Toto sign that contract?
Yeah.
What does Kimi need to do from this point to the rest of the season to secure that trust? Because contract equals trust.
Yes.
If I have a contract, it's because whoever the freaking CEO is trusts me with their car, with their brand. And if I don't have a contract, you can say it's political, you can say it's
totally
all of that, but it does come down to, do I trust you with my car? So what does Kimi need to do to earn back that trust and get that contract solidified for next year?
Yeah. I don't know what he can do other than score points. He needs to do what drivers are supposed to do. He needs to deliver. If George is putting it in P5, he should be putting it in 6 or 7. The car can do it.
He's not been there.
And you look at Hülkenberg and Gabby, you've got an established driver and a rookie driver, and they're right there around each other.
There's a little bit of distance.
There's a little bit of distance, but they're closer on the finishing, on the qualifying, all of it. Yeah. You look at the gap between George and Kimi, it's much greater.
Yeah.
And you can see that beyond just the points, how they approach the weekend, everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's just young. Is that just what it is?
Yeah, but Hülkenberg is old. Gabby's young.
Yeah. So that's not a big factor.
I don't think it's a huge factor.
Yeah. I mean, besides Kimi's struggles and Russ's mediocrity, is this just another season for Mercedes to write off?
Yeah, and how many more can we do? How many more seasons can we write off?
Well, this is the thing, and this is what I was getting at last week, and again, apologies stated, but my frustration with Mercedes is they haven't been themselves for quite some time now.
Yes.
So it's one of those moments where at what point does something larger need to change here?
Yes.
You know, and the thing about Toto is he's one of the owners.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not in a position like other team principals are who are at risk. But is Toto the problem?
Yes.
And does Toto need to take a step like Zach Brown did and say, hey, maybe I need to put an engineer in here. Maybe maybe this philosophy of,
it would be,
I don't know how to design the car, but I know how to lead and create an environment. Maybe I actually need an engineer as a team principal and I shift into CEO role. Is it Toto who's holding Mercedes back?
But man, that's a hard question. Possibly. And that would be tough.
We've seen other teams make shifts and they excel forward.
People ask me often why I'm still a Mercedes fan. And the answer is 2 words. Toto Wolff. The guy's
not giving you a whole lot to go off.
He has in the last few years, but the totality of his time as a team principal is far greater than the last few years.
Of course, but here's the thing, though. This is still F1.
This is F1, 100%. And I don't know what the future of Mercedes looks like. I think 2026 will tell. If they come out of 2026 and we have another zero pod issue, it's you could pretty much sign off the next 4 years because that's what's happened. They have never recovered from a bad start to a new reg.
No.
Never.
You can't do it.
So there's that.
Does Toto take that gamble?
He's talked about it. If he's the problem, he'll step back. The difference between
I'm not
Toto,
saying go anywhere. I'm just saying shift into a Zach Brown role.
That's different. Zach Brown's
CEO.
Yes, but Zach Brown is also
team principal.
But do you know why Zach Brown took that role? Because he's also freaking an IndyCar, Formula E, and 50 other different kinds of racings.
Yeah.
He's like the CEO of McLaren racing as a whole. Toto Wolff's not that. Toto Wolff is F1 only.
But Toto also is one of the principal owners of Mercedes.
Mercedes F1, not Mercedes.
I know, but it's still, you're an owner.
Yes.
There's a lot there. There's a lot of security
There's a lot there.
there.
Yes. 33%.
That's honestly why he's still, I think, in the paddock, is because he's the owner. If he wasn't the owner, I think he would have been gone a long time ago.
Yes.
So here's my thing is like, this is where Mercedes, I don't believe, is actually being fully honest with themselves about what's actually needs to change in order for them to get out of this doldrum wasteland they've been in. It doesn't matter that Russ is in fourth. Mercedes has dominated and they have lost their way. And honestly, I think it comes down to direction, vision, and leadership. At this point, you just have to make a shift. And I think they run the risk of sinking even further if they get next year wrong.
Well, and I think that's the only litmus test there is. If we get to next year and it's wrong, then all of what you said would be accurate. It would be a vision, it would be a culture, and it would be an organizational problem, which all falls down to the leader.
Screwed for the next several years again.
Yeah, but then I'll become a Ferrari fan, so it'll be okay. I'll trade one misery for another. I'm just kidding. I would not. Okay.
Secretly, I mean, come on. You've got the Ferrari.
That's my son's. That's Henry's.
You've got a red jacket.
Henry's
inside,
a Chuck fan.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about a team that we profusely apologized to last week. We didn't apologize to them at all last year. We apologized to a team last week, and we gave someone the benefit of the doubt. And then they came out this week, and Aston Martin, Alonso DNF'd, Stroll P18'd, midfield misery.
I take it all back. I take my kind
But
words
the future's
back.
in the workshop, guys. Newey's here. Okay, Newey and my millions. What a juxtaposition of current misery and future plans.
Well, this
like,
is
look
what
at all the
happens,
money that
though.
we've poured into this so that we can DNF. The freaking suspension broke. We watched Sainz tangle and spin with another car and keep going.
Yeah,
we watched Yuki get like side pod to front wheel action and keep going. And then Alonso grazes a curb at Monza, which have been lowered this year, by the way. And oh my gosh, my Aston Martin, it's broken. I got to come in. He comes in and goes, guys, this is unacceptable.
As he should.
And he was in the points and on my fantasy team. And now I'm losing to him. Off screen, Joshua Jones,
our producer this
Coach
week.
Jones.
I gave up on fantasy a long time ago.
You never started this year, Ben. You can't give up on something you haven't started.
A long time ago, I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to give up on it.
It was just so funny, like, to watch their Silverstone, because that's where they're based, their Silverstone spending spree and their Monza Speedway failure.
Well, this is their pattern, though. So they go from, scoring 7th and 9th to the next race, 14th and 17th. And then they have a couple 7th and 5th, 7th and 8th, and then back to 18th and DNF. So last week, we did have some really strong words.
100%.
For Aston. Supportive words.
Which was a first.
And then this week's a little disappointing.
A little.
But this is kind of the pattern, and
he finished P18, dude. Stroll finished P18.
Frustrating.
Let me remind you, P20 didn't start the race.
Yeah. So essentially, he's the very end. I think Aston, and I don't want to be that guy that like swings back and forth in the pendulum between saying that like
that's not our fault. Aston Martin is making us do this.
The F1 world, no one's paying attention to Aston, and then now it's just like, well, Aston sucked anyway. Here's the thing: I think I'm gonna try to fine tune it a bit more. I think Aston is struggling in a way Ferrari's struggling. Ferrari has said this year we're not touching this car. Focus is next year. Aston's been very honest. Adrian Newey's like, yeah, I'm not associated with this.
He leaves the room.
I'm leaving the room. And we've mentioned that several times. So I think Aston's kind of in that same space that Ferrari is in, where it's just like the car is what it is.
I'm just happy to be here,
and we're happy to be here.
Just happy
if
to
we
be here.
get a 7th and a 9th, we're like, huzzah, yay, this is wonderful, love and flowers. But then it's like, when we get a DNF and an 18, it's like, well, that can happen too.
Exactly.
And like, we're not surprised when that happens. So I think, that's I think where I want to settle with Aston. Like I want to settle with Ferrari. It's just the season, you're not going to improve this car. It is what it is. You're going to make the best of it that you can. Next year, let's see what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I do still think if I'm going to bet on a team to get it right, I would have to say it's got to be Aston.
Right.
Mercedes has clearly shown in the past that they have a great talent at getting it wrong and then keep getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Red Bull, I'm not confident in because they're going with Ford and they've already said, listen, we're not even going to be close to competing with Mercedes next year.
Right.
Aston, though, has Honda and they have Adrian and they got
a lot of money,
a ton of money. And
a lot of money.
If I'm going to bet on one team, Ferrari is whatever. If you get it right, it's like rolling the dice. Good on you.
They got it right for decades.
I do think Aston is going to turn it around next year. But yeah, this year I'm like, hands off. It is what it is. We're getting towards the end here, and their car's what it is.
Yeah. I'm going to switch gears for a second. I need to ask a question. Who pissed Liam Lawson off?
Today?
Why is he so angry? Why is he driving like angry. The entire grid is against him? This is the second week in a row he has just decided to hit somebody.
Well, who he hit though? Who did he hit?
Yuki.
This isn't like a big big puzzle or a mystery.
I'm like, bro,
of course he hit Yuki. Yuki's
chill
got his
out,
seat.
my guy.
Yuki's got his seat. Of course he hit Yuki. I was like, of course, this makes sense. If you hang on a second though, if the sole goal of your life was to make it into F1 and then to make it into a top team and you get there and then you're wronged and you've been wronged, how long would it take for you to get over that? Freaking Antonelli still can't get over the fact that he crashed at Monza in practice last year. He still can't get over that. But imagine you're Liam.
Yeah.
You have been so wrong because the guy who's in that seat now sucks. And you're like, wait, hang on a second, guys. What are we doing? Why did you switch me with someone who clearly can't get it right?
Exactly.
I'm another casualty. And not only that, it's almost like this weird thing where you can't get away from the person who wronged you. It's like you're in like a toxic relationship where it's like you're stuck in this relationship. The person wronged you, but you can't get out of it. That's Liam. He's in the Red Bull stable still.
Yeah.
I would be angry every single race.
And then you're rookie. Like you're a rookie. You're Liam. You're Isaac. A rookie. And Isaac is your teammate. And he's on the podium last week.
What do you think was going through Liam's mind last week? What is he feeling?
I was just going to say something, but I'm not going to say it. I think he's thinking, why not me? What have I done? What am I not doing?
Well, why have the F1 gods cursed me?
Well, I think it's then compounded this week where Liam qualifies garbage, finishes 14th. Isaac starts in the pit lane and ends 10th. In 10th in the points.
Fighting signs and
holding
signs at bay.
And holding it back.
Signs have this thing now, and I love it. They hate
feel
each
like
other. It's great.
The difference between Isaac and the difference between Liam is Liam has never left the drama of Red Bull and the stable. And Isaac has gone, I'm here and I'm here to race. But Liam is always trying to prove something. Dude, just go and prove it on track rather than proving it through aggression.
Well, here's the thing, though. I agree, but I don't want to minimize what this guy's been through. And we haven't actually talked about it this season, really. We haven't talked about Liam in this way. He went through something catastrophic. The fact that the guy is still standing, the fact that the guy had to show up and, like, right after he'd been axed by Red Bull, put on the Racing Bull suit and go film. Every time I see the opening of F1 and see him in a Racing Bulls, I know when that happened, and you can tell this guy is just utterly crushed.
Yeah, but that was the beginning of the year, Ben.
I know. There was 3 races in.
The guy's getting paid $1 million. Get over it.
But But we act like these guys aren't human.
But at the same time, he went and he started outperforming his previous seat. He got over that.
Yeah, but you see it though with Hamilton. There's these rhythms, these moments of these ups and these just deep downs. I think Liam sees his teammate starting to take off, and then sees the guy who kicked him out of Red Bull tanking, and is like, "I'm on no man's land here. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think I agree. They're humans. Great.
All I'm saying is I'm not surprised that he's racing angry. I'd be racing angry all season long.
Totally. But at what point are you throwing away your entire career for your anger? Because my thought is, yes, no one liked how Red Bull handed Liam this seat. No one liked it. No one liked the flip-flop.
No.
That was also race number 3.
Yep.
We're now in the teens.
I know.
And he has outperformed the person that replaced him. So move on from that. You could solidify based on data alone that Red Bull made a mistake if he wanted to. He could put it that way.
Yeah.
However, it still feels like there is maybe I'll say it this way. There is an unusually large chip on his shoulder. Have a chip. Have something on there. You know what I'm saying?
It's good to have one.
At this point in time, it should be the size of about a crumb. But this guy's walking around with a 6x6 on his shoulder.
But hang on a sec, though. Hang on a sec.
He should not have that.
The greats create their own chips, though. You look at Michael Jordan. That guy would create a chip just to drive
Liam is not Michael Jordan.
Of course he's not. But he's 1 of 20.
Yes, but he hasn't justified the reason to do that. Of course,
but here's the thing, though. You know, Tom Cruise before
he's not. I knew you were going to say he's not Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise demanded that people treat him the way he saw himself, which was the ultimate megastar that he ended up becoming. He lived into that, and then he actualized that. So here's my thing. When F1 is a game of the smallest of margins, when something catastrophic like that happens, wouldn't it have an outsized and lasting effect? When everything that's so small means so much, wouldn't something that's so big be even that much bigger? That's the thing with F1. That's why these guys, they can't move past it. Again, Kimi still thinks about when he crashed, still embarrassed about it. A year later, when he's got the seat and he's 10th or 8th place in the championship, still is thinking about, I crashed.
Yeah.
Imagine the embarrassment Liam has every time he walks through the paddock. Every time he passes Red Bull.
I agree with you.
I'm just saying it's a lot.
I don't think
we can minimize it. And it's a chip. Hold it.
Hold the chip, but it can't be your motivation.
It's not great motivation.
Conversely, look at his teammate who crashed out on his debut race. We have video footage of this guy's F1 debut, and all that everyone was talking about is how sad it was for him to start this way, and just images of him being embraced by Lewis Hamilton's father.
I remember.
Think of the saddest way to start your F1 career. That was it. Look at him now. Liam is in the exact same boat as Isaac. Isaac has taken his lemons and he has made lemonade.
I mean, here's the thing.
Liam has taken his lemons and he's squeezed them in his eyes and he's sucked on them and he's sniffed them up his nose and it's contorted his entire being into this angry gremlin. He's had water. He's a Furby with water thrown on him and he has become a gremlin. Isaac was a gremlin and now he's a Furby. And that's all I'll say. I agree with you. They're humans.
F1 is a mental sport, and
it's a pressure cooker.
It's a pressure cooker, and the guys that succeed are the guys who are able to handle that. Here's my thing. Isaac clearly's handled what he had to navigate well. I think there is a role for a chip. There is a role for even anger or a need to prove in the sport. Is it as large as Liam's making it? Well, he's in 15th place.
I just think
so maybe not.
There's something. I understand anger. I understand the way that people process information is different for every person, and I understand it's based on penalties. I mean, personality types. My concern with Liam and the way he responds is that you haven't earned the right to respond this way. I look down the history of Formula One, and I see people like Max Verstappen who kicks tires, says things in press conferences, lights up the media, and look at the friggin' results.
Yeah.
I look at Michael Schumacher, who literally had to take a break at one point because he was so pissed off that he dive bombed his car into the side of somebody and got penalized by the FIA and would sit out for multiple races. Still a world champion.
Yeah.
They've earned the right to this anger.
Because they can manage their anger.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you look at Liam, and I'm like, dude, you are 3 races away from becoming the new Esteban Ocon, who's just angry and runs people off the road and is cranky all the time, and everyone just ends up ignoring. You're just there, and everyone's kind of like, do we have to invite them?
That is what I think about Ocon.
That's how we think about Ocon, and that's
F1?
how we're going to think about Liam. Because you can't have that level of personality. You can't be the guy in driver's advice that says like, yeah, well, I get there, I'm just going to perform.
So Liam just needs to find a way to let it go.
Put your head down, chill out, and get some damn results, and then you can do and act however you want. But until you get some points consistently, I would be less mad at his teammate if Hadjar was acting this way.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with Liam. Last thing I'll say here, too, is he, in the last 6 races, has scored 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those decent points. So I think it might just be this fluctuation. One day he's got it. He's able to score. One day he's pissed.
Yes.
And he's driving angry.
Yeah. My last thing I'll say is that if this is what Isaac Hadjar is doing on his rookie season, it took Oscar 2 to 3 years to get to this level of consistent performance against Lando. And Isaac's doing it in 1 season. Do you think he should go to Red Bull next year?
Hell no.
Do you think he should stay?
Yes. That's all I'll say.
And on
stay, Isaac, stay.
And on that desperate plea from Ben. What's the next race, Ben?
Azerbaijan. Street track. It was always Checo's favorite. Who are your predictions for the podium?
Fast. I think we will see Max on the podium again.
I think it's
very
inevitable.
It's very likely.
The longest straight on the grid or on the season, I think.
Yep. Norris does well here. But so does Oscar. So I think it's a toss-up. I think we'll see those 3 again.
Yeah.
Ferrari, I'm done predicting them in the top 3 because they've just let me down.
Yeah.
And I will say midfield, I think we will see this be a very important weekend for Williams to keep their place in the constructor standings. Because this is one of the very few tracks left this year. And this is not my observation, this is theirs, that they could be good at.
Yeah. It's a big race. They're fighting with Aston now. Aston's coming from Racing Bulls is coming for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't think Racing Bulls will do that well.
But
not super good.
Williams has got to score some points here. I mean, it's gonna be Max. It's gonna be the McLaren boys. So that's my call.
You think Max could win again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And on that note, drop the mic.
Drop it. Well, don't do it. These are expensive.
Thanks for joining us, folks.